Alright guys, welcome back to the Adam Show. I'm doing this video on request. One of my good friends David has asked me, and a lot of people have asked me, the key element to building Warhammer armies in Warhammer 40,000. I guess this will be 8th edition, but it's always a question a lot of people ask is, where do I start, what do I do? So what I've done here today is set up what I feel is the most key important part of building any 8th edition army, and that's the battalion. 2 HQs, 3 troops gives you a core. I've taken 6 of my many armies that are painted. I've just moved house, so I'm still getting them all out. And I've chosen some of the more popular armies. So I've got some Guard, Tyranids, Dark Elder, some Necrons at the back. These guys are Blood Angels over here, and we've got some Chaos Space Marines. But for the Marines up the back that are Blood Angels, I've also chosen them to be quite generic in what I've set out today, just to give an example and show that anyone building Marines of any kind is a good place to start. Alright, so let's have a bit of a look what we've got here. Starting with the Astra Militarum. Really simple way of building your list, guys. Core, 2 company commanders. Arm them with whatever you want. These two, this one's just got a power sword. This one's got nothing. He's just got a staff. He just gets into it. Alright, then you've got 1, 2, 3 10-man units with las cannons. Also, plasma gun in each unit. What this gives you is your 8 command points. You've got 2 company commanders to give plenty of orders here. You've got firepower. You've got plasma guns. You've got las guns. You've got everything you need pretty much to get started with your Imperial Guard. This is a really good starting point. I would suggest it for anybody looking at starting the Astra Militarum. 3 10-man units. Doesn't always have to be las cannons and plasma guns. Play how you play. That's how I play. I think las cannons are brilliant. It's a good starting point. We'll move behind here. We got the Tyranids. We have a Broadlord. And we've got a Tyranid Prime. Then you have 1, 2, 3 units of troops. This is another core element when you're building your army. The reason I've got different ones out is because Astra Militarum don't work like Tyranids. The reason this guy is in here is because I have 2 units of Gene Stealer, so he gives them a +1 to hit in combat. The reason this guy is in here is because he gives this unit +1 to hit in combat and shooting. So you've essentially given yourself the 8 command points. You've got your 3 troops to start with. Then you just need to add what you think is lacking in that. You've got plenty of combat, you've already got shooting, you've even got a little bit of psychic. Alright, moving across. Battalion for Dark Elder. You've got your Archon. I've given mine an Agonizer and just a Splinter Pistol. You got a Succubus by his side. Treacherous twins, these guys. Got a unit of Warriors, unit of Witches, unit of Witches. I've gone for Agonizers. I haven't actually used these guys this edition, but this would be my core point for starting this army. Gives me my 8 command points. I've got a good solid base of troops, 2 HQs, go from there. Move on to the Necrons. Same again, got a Cryptek, we've got an Overlord. Using these 2 things supports these 3 units, 1, 2, 3 units of Immortals. Yes, some people are going to say take bigger units, but I'm going from a starting core of building an army. This is a good cheap way of doing it. Then you can add whatever you want. You want to bulk those guys out, you want to add more things, go for it from there. But the question today was list building, so I'm showing you the cores of armies. Here we go, Chaos. Sorcerer. Chaos Lord. 1, 2, 3 units of troops. I've given them las cannons. This is a core army for a Chaos warband. You know, you've already got some good things here. You've got combat, you've got psychic, you've got shooting. You've got anti-infantry, you've got anti-tank. Take it from there. But as a beginning player or someone that's building a list, this is a good place to start. Alright, moving behind them, we've got Blood Angels, but this can go anyone. These are Primaris Marines. We have a Primaris Captain. He's got Stalker Pattern Bolter and a Power Sword. This guy based the absolute crap out of. Ignore that. I was having one of those days. Sergeant, Stalker Pattern Bolter. You know, you got 1, 2, 3 troops. You know, you've got your power swords, grenade launchers, all them things in there. You've got your 8 command points. You're coming in pretty cheap. Alright, so let's get back out here for a second. So what we got here is 6 different armies with really easy to start core components. Everybody wants to jump straight into the big guns, but if you want to build a list that's, you know, long lasting, works well, these are sort of places you got to start. The reason I've got different armies out is every army, as I said, has different core components. You can start, some infantry are able to start with heavy weapons, others are not. Take these guys for instance. The Tyranids have more infantry troops choices than any other army. They're very varied, so you can utilise multiples of them to create different effects. Then you've got Imperial Guard. They're chaff, everybody knows they're chaff, but you can arm the absolute snot out of them to blow things away. You have these guys, you've got your witches, close combat, and you've got these guys which are really good with their poison weapons for shooting. Necrons. Shooting, 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 and more shooting. They've got some combat units. Space Marines. Always good all-rounders. Chaos Space Marines. One of my favourites. Like I said, I like the loadouts that I've got on these guys. This is one of the good core starts. This is ready to take on anything at a low points game. Alright, so we've got here our battalions. 6 different battalions. You know, good look at them. Ways that you can start your army. As I said, I'm still moving out other armies. What I want to show you next, moving across here, is for guys that just want to go hardcore straight into it. Alright, so let's move across here. This is what was known as a Riptide Wing. If you don't want to bother with command points and all that jazz, you just want to get into it, you just make your friends cry, go buy yourself some hardcore stuff for an army. This is just an example. You can do this with any army. You just take hard stuff, you know, big guy, cannons, rockets, movement. You know, cannons, rockets, movement, cannons, rockets, movement. You got this guy to support. Rockets, rockets, and rockets. Alright guys, if you can take that route too. This is not well rounded, it can have weaknesses. I actually just took this to a tournament at 1,000 points a couple of weeks ago. Yes, I know what you're thinking. You're that guy. Well, that day I was that guy. But as I've said, there are different ways of building armies. This is one example. The reason I've set up 6 of these, this is what I'd go for realistically. So, I hope this is helpful to guys starting armies, starting list building. Go for the battalion and work your way up from there. Look at what you've got in your battalion and what needs to be added. If you're interested in seeing more of this kind of thing and what I would add to different armies, let me know in the comments. Thanks a lot guys, thanks for watching the Adam Show, and I hope you have a good night.